Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. So today we're looking at some more support for the Bujin archetype from Lightning Overdrive. This is quite shocking because they've not had support in many years. As you can see from here, it says 2014 flashbacks. For anyone who isn't aware of what the Bujins are, there's basically a series of about 3 or 4 Beast Warrior type monsters who you can only control one of them on the field. There are various other cards which are also monsters that have effects which are either used to protect those Bujins by, preventing them from being destroyed by effects, or boost up their attacks, or protect them in other ways as well. And so we've got a brand new section of these cards, so we're just going to cover those. The first one is a Bujin Mahitotsu. It's a light attribute Beast Warrior effect, level 4 with 0 attack and 1800 defense. You can only use each of this card's name's first and second effects once per turn. 1. You can send one other Bujin card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Send one Bujin monster from your hand to the graveyard to add one Bujin monster with a different name from your graveyard to your hand. Or you can banish one Bujin monster from your graveyard to send one Bujin monster with a different name from your deck to the graveyard. So this is quite unusual for what is supposed to be one of the Beast Warrior type monsters. These are kind of like their mini boss monsters, as most of the other ones have a decent stat line in terms of their attack. That's usually where the 1800, 1900 comes into play. Alternatively, this seems to be a defensive version and is basically here to try and get your Bujin cards into the graveyard to have their effects trigger from there. It's all more to do with setup rather than actually progressing you any way forward. I'm not saying this card is bad, but generally speaking, I don't think it does enough to make it, to warrant running more than maybe 1 or 2, at the most. The next card is Bujin Torifune. It's a light attribute Beast Warrior level 4 with 1500 attack and 500 defense. You can only use each of this card's name's first and second effects once per turn. 1. You contribute this card, special summon 2 Bujin monsters with different types from your deck in defense position, except itself. And 2. When you exceed summon a Bujin monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can equip this card from your graveyard to that monster. Banish any monster destroyed by battle with the equipped monster. This is actually quite a decent card. For starters, it's, you can just tribute it to bring out 2 Bujins, and then you can go into an Xyz monster. And anything that's destroyed by that Xyz monster is automatically banished as well. These types of cards have been useful in the past. Bachi has does the piercing damage for Xyz monsters if that's used as part of the Xyz summon. Alternatively, this is a lot more consistent and works very well with the deck. And it's a 1 card, boss monster for their Xyz monsters. You don't have to run anything specific, and it's decent that it's good for that specific archetype. It's not going to get splashed into whoever knows what else type of Beast Warrior deck people are playing. The next card, and I think this is the last one, it's Bujin Dissection. It's a continuous spell card with the effects. 1. Beast Warrior Bujin monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, except during the battle phase. 2. Once per turn, you can send 1 Bujin monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, then target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, and negate its effects until the end of this turn. Or 3. During your end phase, you can send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard, then target 1 Bujin monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So with the first effect protecting them from being destroyed by your opponent's card effects is very decent for what they need. It helps to support them, but it is a bit disappointing that during the battle phase, which is where the Bujins tend to shine, that's when your opponent is able to destroy them with card effects. Although saying that, I think Turtle and one of the other ones does have the ability to protect your Bujin monsters, so I don't see that as a massive downside to it. The second part of the effect requires you to send a Bujin monster from either the hand or the graveyard to shut down one of your opponent's face-up cards. I think that's okay. It's better than it could have been. Had it been only from face-up on the field, I would have said that part of the effect is dead. By getting rid of cards from your hand, you can have them so that they trigger in the graveyard as well. And also it shuts down any of, a face-up card your opponent has. It would have been nice if it negated a little bit more, but it's a 1-for-1. You're getting rid of something to shut down something else. Depending on what you're running against, it might be enough to actually get you the victory. And of course, if you're in that really desperate situation where you really don't need this card, you've got it on the field and you've got no monsters, there's always the opportunity to just get rid of this card to bring back one of your Bujin monsters and hopefully you recover your position.